Hello everyone, I am Wade Plemons and we are here from the beautiful Casino Royale in Caguas, Puerto Rico for another edition of the Boxing Lab presented by Celsius. Live Fit Essential Energy. That's tasty stuff. And as always, I am joined by an awesome group of guests. To my left, the most decorated fighter in history, the queen of boxing, the real deal, Amanda Serrano, her coach and manager, Jordan Maldonado, and the director of boxing and MVP, Mike Leanardi. Folks, let's get started with, I think, the most topical thing on everyone's mind right now, November 15th, live on Netflix.
What's happening that day?
I thought I'd go to shopping and maybe just check out some Netflix. No, of course, it's Jake Paul, Mike Tyson main event, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano co-main event, and I want to know right off rip, champ, where are you at? How are you feeling for this event and just the history behind it?
Yes. No, we're always ready. I'm excited to be on that platform. I think both of us deserve that platform. We work so hard. We train hard. Our accomplishments, everything is leading us to this point, and especially Netflix, like, wow.
Cherry World too.
Yeah.
Dallas, Texas.
And then I never thought I would be fighting on the undercard of Mike Tyson. Who knew that?
Crazy.
So
Jordan,
Brooklyn Knights.
It's insane to think about. For you, Jordan, you've been on this journey with Amanda since it started.
For a long time, man.
Yeah.
So sometimes I wake up and I'm still pinching myself like, this is all real. You know what I'm saying? Women boxing, no one cared about, and all of a sudden it's full circle. We've had amazing, great female fights, but to have Amanda as one of the pioneers, this rematch, the anticipated rematch, the first one was a barn burner. This one's going to be just as exciting, if not even more. We're working harder. So, it's just a surreal environment, everything leading up to it. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Netflix. Like, if you pinpoint any one of those things individually, it's almost like a wow. But then you combine them all together, it's just, unreal for us.
And listen, I love Jake, Tyson, I'm a fan of, but me and Katie, we're going to steal the show.
Of course. To me, I don't even think it's just to me, it's the most anticipated, I wouldn't even say rematch, just fight in women's boxing history. Like, I don't think that, as we get closer, people are going to grasp that, like, just what you said, champ, like, this is going to be the showstopper, show stealer in front of all those fans. You guys obviously are preparing without giving too much away. We're not going to do that, but what is the kind of message in camp this time around?
I mean, basically, we're doing this time. I'm doing camp myself. Last time I used Gary Starks, a buddy of mine, and his style's a little different than mine, and so we were kind of like torn between transition. Amanda trying to do something different. And, lo and behold, what was really, really successful on our behalf was our regular method of training, which is, come and fight, and, we're going to be ready to fight, the first round all the way till the end. We're looking to start round 1 as the continuation of round 5 of the first fight.
Or even the 10th.
Yeah,
that
even
was a
the
good
10th, you know what I'm saying?
round.
I mean, we're ready, man. We're running more than before. We have some very amazing sparring partners. So, right now we're super confident. Like I said, she ran with Bomba, Jonathan Bomba, who's going out to fight for his second world title. For the first time, he fell back when it came to running.
Look at that smile, Chad.
Sorry,
Look at
Yeah.
because that's one thing that I really dislike running, and I really dislike sparring, which are the two most important things in boxing. Because for me, with the sparring, is like I feel like I'm always fighting for my life because I'm sparring with men, and I've never get the easy end. It's always like I hit them once, and they're like, we'll work. I hit them once. Twice.
So that's why we can
So it's
identify
like,
with what you said, sparring, because it always starts that way. It's like, oh, no, don't worry, champ. We're going to spar. We're going to take it easy. There's no such thing. Once you're in that ring, it's
I think there's one thing that people don't realize, too, because I've been in your position setting up training camps and hiring sparring partners and stuff like that. When you have the world champion, it's for you, it's work. It's Monday and I'm working. For them getting in your camp a 5-0 young fighter, this is like the Super Bowl for them. So you're always getting the best out of the sparring partner.
And then they're trying to measure themselves against you.
Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they have something to prove. They're like,
course.
you know, it's not like, you know, when you have two, like when Amanda spars with Cindy, her sister, it's almost like everyone understands what we're here for. We're here to work. But when we spar with these girls, they're all trying to figure out, let me see how I would rate or I would do with the world champion. So, you know, we want to do sparring sessions, but like I said, the other day, it turned out to be a 10-round fight. You know, literally.
They've all heard the story of you signing Krystal off of sparring too. So now they're like, all right, this is my opportunity.
Exactly.
I was going to ask that same thing because
They think of that, but now they want to test
you're
it.
you're kind of in that promoter's shoes now, and that's a great place to be.
Well, now what it is, we're managing them, and the thing with Krystal was, I brought it down to MVP. I brought it down to Jake and Nikisa, and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna talk because, you know, everybody, I've never heard anybody say I have a fighter, he's mediocre.
Yeah, right.
They're all gonna, oh, he's great, he's the best, oh, he was a top amateur, he was this, he was that.
Right.
I was like, you know what? I said, I'm not gonna say anything. Everyone knows who Amanda Serrano is. I said, so we're gonna go in there. So I told the girl, I said, first, we're gonna spar. I want them to see your talent, your movement. I said, the third round, I said, look, you know, it's gonna be bad for you. I said, but I want them to see your toughness. So the third round, I was like, we're not boxing, we're just fighting. And man, did these girls, they went at it for the whole entire round. Jake was like, yo, where's the contract? Like, you know, because this little girl, she was, you know, 21 years old at the time, but yeah, she was 20 at the time, but in addition to that, she fought at 112. Now she's up to 118 as a pro. So she's smaller in terms of size versus Amanda. But they went at it. And, you know, I spoke about doing the same thing with this one. I was like, look, you know, I don't like to talk too much because, like I said, no one's ever going to say, hey, I have a person that's mediocre. We're all going to say they're the best thing. I said, well, you know, after that sparring session, I was like, you know, I spoke to the team. I was like, look, I love to have her come down and I love for her to spar with Amanda. You know, and the reason why that's important is because Amanda is one of the very best in the sport. So, you know, to see Amanda go all out the way she is, vintage Amanda, and to see these girls able to endure that and actually come back and fight back kind of like tells you, okay, now what if they fought someone who wasn't top 3 in the world? You know what I'm saying? You can make an assessment of how
to us,
how
what's
good.
the most important is the heart. If we see you have heart and you keep coming, then eventually the skills will come along. But these girls start off with both the heart and the skills. So I'm excited to see
that's
the future.
one of the things that I've always looked. I don't work with a lot of fighters, but I'm more like, you know, skills you can always get, right? But that dog and that heart is something that I've seen skillful fighters, you know, falter when it comes to having to dig deep, you know what I'm saying? You know, what Amanda has, you know, she's made me look great as a trainer because I'm not even all that, but the fact that I have one of the top girls in the world, and that's because from the beginning, she was so tough, you know what I'm saying? And she refused
Don't ask me where it came from, because outside of the ring, I'm like the biggest scaredy cat. Like, I don't like to get into arguments or anything.
She's non-confrontational.
Yeah.
She, you know, I believe that Amanda's literally the type that if she went outside and she got into an argument with a girl, she'll probably just like choke up. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say that too loud.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Because like me,
I'm a prize fighter.
I'm like, Amanda, you know who you are. I say, do you know what you would do to these women? You know what I'm saying? But she's not that type. You know what I'm saying? She's super classy. They never get into an argument. You know, sometimes like, you know, at home, they don't fight, but they argue, you know, Cindy and her. You know, sometimes I look at Cindy, I'm like, do you know what would happen to you? And she's like, yeah, I know. Thank God she doesn't. Thank God she doesn't swing.
Champ's a sweetheart.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Absolute classy sweetheart. And I think that a lot of people have gained so much respect obviously as your boxing skills and you've just run through the sport, but I'm still at the point. I talked to my father, who is a massive Mike Tyson fan. He's starting to get in my head a little bit. You know, dads do that to you. And he's telling me, listen, son, Mike, he's a Southern guy. Son, Mike Tyson's about to go in there. He's going to whoop up on Jake. Jake ain't never seen no punches like this. Let me tell you right now. So now I'm starting to wonder because I'm seeing these videos come out. I'm seeing Mike move around, hitting the mitts, and he's looking like a ferocious monster. I got to get your guys' thoughts, champ. I mean, as we sit here, no predictions, none of that, but what do you think about the fight?
Listen, like you said, Mike Tyson, he's a very experienced former world champion. He's a heavyweight. He's big. That doesn't leave you. Like, his ferociousness is still inside of him. His power, he still has, even at his age. And I think a lot of people are bothering him and telling him, you need to get Jake out of here. You need to get Jake out of boxing, make Jake respect. So he's going to go out there and try to do just that. But on the other hand, Jake is young, Jake is strong, Jake is hungry, and he's learning. And I think that this is his chance to showcase what he can do, especially at a heavyweight, fighting a guy like Mike Tyson. He wants to prove that he belongs here. And it's just so hard because the way I see Jake work is like no other. And I'm like, I'm really, really impressed. I could see the progression from the first fight to now. So it's just going to be a very interesting on who lands first. like it's just like, because I know Mike Tyson's going to come and try to rip his head off. And Jake might be a little cautious at first. But, you know, I think after the first punches thrown in both ways, I think we'll find out how the fight is going to go. I think so.
Me personally, myself, I know people throw out that 50-50. Oh, that's a 50-50 fight. For me, this is a real 50-50 fight. You know, you have like power and experience. Experience is great, but, you know, at a certain age, you know, it kind of like deceives you and it falters. You know what I'm saying? I'm leading to Jake because Jake is fearless. You know, Jake forgot the memo that he's in there with Mike Tyson. He forgets the memo that he's in there with the baddest athletes in the world and goes out there and imposes his will. And I think that that's what really kills a lot of fighters. When you go there thinking too much, giving too much respect, like, you know, like when Amanda fought Katie Taylor, I was like, she's a woman, you know what I'm saying? Right. A lot of people who fought her are thinking about what she did in the amateurs. I was like, that's then, this is now, you know what I'm saying? So when people, oh yeah, she's real good, I'm like, she's never hurt nobody, she's never killed nobody. I said, you know, go out there and do whatever you have to do, you know what I'm saying? And that made us successful, you know what I'm saying? And that's what makes Jake successful, that although we sit and everybody and he hears, oh, they're gonna kill him and all this and that, he doesn't register that, you know what I'm saying? He looks at it like a regular fight. So when he goes in there, he doesn't go in there with that, you know, that apprehension, like reserved. You know, he's out there thinking like, it's my show, I'm here to win, and he does real good. So, you know, I think, although I love Mike Tyson, I would have rooted for him against anybody else but Jake. You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm just gonna go on a limb. I'm just gonna say I got Jake all the way.
Yeah. Mike, I want you to talk about, you know, because we've sat here and we've talked about the matchups, you know, we've talked about the back and forth. Talk about the event for me, because I know that obviously you have the big hand in making a lot of this stuff happen. Just the magnitude of it, how stressful is it getting all this together and getting it done, and just, you know, how excited you are for the entirety of November 15th.
I mean, couldn't be more excited. Yeah. You know, it's the biggest event I've ever been a part of. I definitely have like the pinch me moment of, you know, my name on BoxRec, what Mike Tyson is in the main event, you know. One of my earliest life memories is Tyson Buster Douglas. I was 7 years old, and I remember my dad had gotten a brand new TV. It was a 35-inch Mitsubishi, which was like a movie theater.
Big boy back then, baby.
In 1990.
Inch, that's like a pocket TV now.
Yeah, it's like my phone's
it's your
that
phone.
big.
It's your phone.
A pocket TV.
But it was huge. You know, it had like the wood paneling on the sides and stuff.
Classic, baby.
And I remember, man, like I'm 7 years old. I don't really know anything, but I'm like, I know nobody could beat Mike Tyson, and then he got knocked out. You know, and it was like crazy. So anyway, I had to digress, but I mean the event, the magnitude, Netflix is fully behind it. We're going to see that within the next week. There's a huge marketing push coming out. I mean, it's just the fight's going to be everywhere. Everyone on the card is going to benefit from being a part of the card. Yeah. We have 3 more fights we're announcing in the coming days. I mean, it's epic, man.
This is the big leagues for everyone involved. So it's not just like you say, the fighters, you know what I'm saying? For the guys behind the scene, this is the big league because there's no bigger event.
I said this on one of our earlier podcasts, but your fight is going to be the most watched women's fight by 30, 40 times. More
pressure,
people, no pressure.
But I have to say, the bigger the platform, the more people, the harder I'll come out.
There you go.
The best Amanda Serrano's going to come out.
I already know.
I'm going to put on a show for you guys.
I already know.
And for the 200 and something million people watching, 80,000 in, wow.
Yeah, in attendance. Yeah, it's going to be, like I said, you know, it's funny because, you know, prior to, you know, to Jake Paul and Nikisa Bedarian, you know, Amanda was just a face that got lost in a crowd, you know. As of late, you know, even being in New York, you know, she's getting people wanting to take pictures and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, that's full circle. And we've never been on a Netflix type of platform. So you can imagine.
No one has.
You know, like no one. Like, you know, and it's the first, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter how many times it gets done again after, if it does, but there's only a first, you know what I'm saying?
You know, and I love being the queen of firsts. There's a lot of firsts I've had in this sport.
Well, our Celsius essential reaction, I wanted to ask you, what is the sleeper fight on this card? What's the card or the fight on the card that you look at and go, outside of course, the champ and Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, that one right there, you got to keep your eye on.
Man, I wish we had the full slate announced. But I think Barrios and Ramos is going to be a barn burner. I think the way those guys' styles match up, I think it's just going to be a tremendous fight, man. I think that's going to be, you know, Niraj and Winderson is a very fun fight, but like for boxing fans, you know, Mario Barrios always brings it.
When the community heard that one, when that one dropped, and the boxing community saw that was a part of the card, you saw just a wavelength go through, like, this is really like not only are we getting the you know, the prize at the top, now we're getting just fight after fight, bangers. And again, we've talked about the card being stacked. That was just another one that everybody took notice of, like, okay.
And in what lifetime would you get a female fight to be above
a welterweight world championship?
I mean, when I'm telling you, that's not a sleeper fight. That's a guaranteed bomb burner. Like, you
it's
know,
a main event kind of fight.
It's the type of fight that, you know, you know it's gonna be a war. You know it's gonna be exciting just because of the fighters that are fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I would say to myself, like, man, in what world would you see Amanda, you know, headlining over them? Because man, these guys are amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then like he says, you know, I'm privy to a few of the other fights that we're not mentioning yet, but it's gonna be exciting, man. It's a beautiful card from start to bottom. You know, kudos to all the other fighters that made it on the card. You know what I'm saying? This is for the history. This becomes part of your legacy. You know what I'm saying? To be able to say I'm the first, whether you win or lose. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be fantastic.
Fired up, man.
I'm excited.
Good Lord, get me fired up. Well, listen, obviously that is a card we're all looking forward to, but there's a reason we're in Puerto Rico right now. And that's because Prospects this Friday, Prospects number 9 in Puerto Rico. And I wanted to go to you, Champ, because this has got to be special for you. You know, you've seen the Prospects card. You've been a part, main evented on one of the bigger MVP cards, 3-minute rounds, women's boxing, amazing. But now we get to bring it to your backyard. And we get to not only do that, but we get to show the influence of Puerto Rican boxing through you and through the next generation that you're helping bring along. Talk to me about what all this means this Friday.
Yeah, I'm truly excited. I'm glad that MVP came to Puerto Rico because with this platform, we can showcase the amazing talent we have in this small little island. Have many champions, and now with MVP, with prospects, we get to showcase the future of our island, future of the boxing sport, and male and female. So I'm super excited that you guys brought. I know it's not gonna be the last, right? No. But yeah, it's just with this amazing platform that we have, and I'm truly honored to have 3. Not one, two, but 3 fighters on this card, which I'm gonna be extremely nervous because I feel like I'm a proud mom. Like
That's
now
what
I'm
I
of
noticed.
age.
anytime Amanda's fighter, like you were talking about Jordan, anytime Amanda's fighters are fighting, I've seen Amanda, get ready for her fight. It's completely different. You're on the side. I've seen her get out of body.
No, I don't like. Thank God.
It just comes out of you.
I don't get like that for my fights.
Right.
I know the work I put in, and I know what I can do, what I'm capable of doing in a fight. But when I'm watching my fighters, I'm like even with my sister, I'm like, I can't. I get so nervous because
I love it so much.
I'm just so proud of them. I know how hard they work, and I just want them to perform and just give the crowd a great showing and just to come out there safe and healthy and obviously with the win. Yeah. But this card we have, the main event, Chaparro Rivera is fighting another undefeated. He's his 4th undefeated opponent.
So
He's
talented.
Truly amazing. When I first saw him on MVP Prospect, thank you for putting him on so I can see this kid. I was just like in awe. I was like, who is this kid?
By the way, champ,
Why
everybody's reaction. When we saw him, we went, oh my God.
I said,
who
how
is
come
this?
I never heard of him?
Mike doing his job out here. We were like, what in the
Puerto
world?
Rico. I said, and me and Jordan looked at each other. We was like, we need to work with this kid. Then we have Krystal fighting another Mexican fighter. And Mexicans, they come to war.
I even asked her. I gave her 3 names you gave me, and they picked that one. I'm like, you sure you want that one? Like,
gangster.
But listen, it just shows, it just shows who she is. She doesn't want the easy way around the sport, and that's gonna develop her into becoming the champion that one day she will be. And it helped me in my 5th fight. I fought a former world champion. I got a draw, but it was a war. It made me better. And then I was like, no, as a team, we said no, we want to fix that draw and show
then
the
we fought
progression.
her to a unanimous decision, and then we fought her and knocked her out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you see the progression.
I wanted to show progression. That's another thing that fighters don't do. They fight a person and then they want to fight somebody else to show progression. You can't show progression with someone else because that styles make fights, right? Yep. So you need to come back to that one individual, which is one of the things that I commend Katie Taylor for. Katie Taylor, if you question a win, she'll do it again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She did it with Delphine Persoon. You know what I'm saying? She's going to do it with Amanda Serrano. She did it with Chantel Cameron. She's the type, and she kind of like reminds me of Mayweather, who only gave 2 rematches. Yep. And they were against 2 guys that people thought he didn't win. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to right that wrong and did it again. And dominated in the rematch.
But as you see in Krystal's case, obviously her first fight was with MVP Prospects, and we seen the dog in her. The second fight, she got 2 cuts, and the girl was smiling in the fight, so we saw what we kind of questioned. I didn't get my first cut to the fight with Katie Taylor. Yeah. And that was the 10th round, so I really didn't get to acknowledge the cut or go through like a whole fight. But some people, when they get cut, you don't know what they're gonna do. They panic, if they're gonna panic or they're gonna just keep fighting. And in Krystal's case, we saw that very early on, and she kept fighting with a smile on her
Inclusive.
face.
I worked that corner, and I told her and the team, hey, listen, we're going to the 4th round. Do me a favor, box this round. I believe we won the first 3 rounds. I said, because you're going to either get another cut or that one's gonna get bigger. And they looked at me and they're like, I don't know what you're saying. We're gonna go fight. And they went back and you know what I'm saying? So, it answers a lot of questions. Kudos to the fighters that are coming through the MVP because, that's like a badge of honor. If you come through MVP, prospects, you will not be questioned because, like I said, we don't put any fight that's not, or at least doesn't look like it's going to be competitive, and also the fact, and it's another thing that I love about MVP, Jake Paul, they're non-judgmental, you know what I'm saying? you know, if one of the team or a fighter takes an L, you know what I'm saying, we don't, you know, just give up on you, you know what I'm saying? You can always come back and right a wrong, like I said.
There's a fight I have to talk about.
I was going to go right to you, Mike.
There's 4 main card fights. Alex, Chaparro, Krystal, Jan Paul. But the 4th fight is a barn burner. And I know everyone locally is super excited for it. Elijah Flores, 8-0 versus Omar Rosario, 13-1. Omar's from Caguas. He's going to have a huge support
Elijah's a
system.
veteran here at MVP.
Elijah's fought. He's promoted by Box Lab. He's fought on a few MVP shows. He looked great
Partner
in Puerto
Caribe
Rico.
Royale, by the way.
Great opportunity on a great platform with MVP, DAZN. So of course, why wouldn't they take it? Plus, I think there was, I mean, MVP. We paid decently.
Yeah.
I love it though, but because you don't get this anywhere else. You know that you really don't, and I love being a part of it because I get to see, like you guys have talked about, just some amazing fights early. Like I get to work with Nonito Donaire. He is the poster boy for taking early tough fights and having a loss early. And having to overcome that and
Still
become
becoming a pound for pound.
It's just amazing, like if you fast forward another 10 years, then you're gonna be like, this is where they started. This is where we started, and now that we have, because we have MVP prospect, then we have MVP. So you start off here, and then you end up going to the MVP Netflix shows and stuff.
I think that's what makes this card such a massive one. And to kind of finish up on that, Champ, I'm going to go to you with our Celsius Essential Reaction. I want you to describe your 3 fighters on this card, 1 sentence for each fighter. Can you go through for me and just tell the people 1 sentence on John Paul Rivera, 1 sentence on Krystal Rosado, and 1 sentence on Chop Chop, why they should tune in this Friday?
Oh, man. Okay, Chop Chop, he's a young, heavy hitter model.
Yeah.
High fashion model.
Oh, no, by the way, got the looks. Listen, there's no shame in my game. That guy, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And he models for all the top. When I tell you all
he
the
doesn't
top.
need this. That's the thing. I tell him, why are you boxing?
Yeah, actually, he's losing a lot of money being here. So
Yes, Krystal Rosado. Oh, man. That girl reminds me so much of myself. She has all the heart in the world. And she's going against a Mexican fighter that's made some upsets. So you want to tune into that one. And John Paul Rivera, man, I wish I had the IQ that kid has. He's young, he's hungry, and he's fighting in Puerto Rico. So he's going to showcase, he's going to put on I know this is longer than a sentence, but.
Keep going, I love it. I'm enthralled.
He's going to put on a show so Puerto Rico knows and remembers his name.
Absolutely, I love that. That is going to be a banger of a card. I do want to do one thing before we get out of here. We always like to talk about, you know, what we have coming up here at MVP, and obviously, you know, we this is our center of boxing, but there's a big time card coming up outside of Puerto Rico, and one of the biggest, you know, fights you can make right now. Bivol, Better Biev, this Saturday. Riyadh season that whole thing. Jordan, it's coming out of you, man. I need predictions. What's going on over
Let
there?
me just say, it's my type of fight. You got 2 heavy hitters, brawlers that want to go out there that just has power. It's going to be exciting. That's it.
What do you think, Mike?
I think I gave a prediction because the fight got rescheduled on an earlier episode. I mean, Better Beef can punch out of this world, as Jordan says, and I remember hearing stories of him coming up in the amateurs and just at world level tournaments, just knocking people out. This is 2007 when people still had headgear on, and just sleeping world class amateurs. All that being said, Bivol, I just said it a second ago, what he did against Canelo, I mean, there's nothing that can rattle this guy. Like, I firmly believe, Teddy KGB and Rounders, he's got alligator blood.
Yeah.
Like
Legit.
nothing bothers this guy. And for all his strengths, his power and stuff, Better Beef does get hit. He is a little flat-footed. He is a little slow. And I know Bivol is the kind of guy that can stick to a game plan and execute it really to the letter for 12 rounds.
So you have him.
I was going to say, you're going Bivol here.
I like Bivol. I think...
I mean, I don't mind
when it's... I know I've said this on the show before too, but when a fight is truly 50-50 and I can't pick a winner, if you look in the history of boxing, those kind of fights, if you go with the fighter that moves better, laterally if kind of all else is equal. You know, like a Ward Kovalev sort of fight. Yeah. Go with the fighter with better lateral movement is kind of my rule. So I'm going Bivol.
Champ, did you make a pick?
Not a lot of confidence.
Well, I'm saying hopefully the fans are the winners, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And just briefly, I want to talk about, yes, of course, we have prospects here, number 9 coming up. Everybody's excited, but there's more that MVP is doing with you, Amanda, and, you know, the island of Puerto Rico. I want you guys to be able to speak on just the investment into the island, into boxing. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Listen, I'm a proud Boricua, proud Puerto Rican, and to have a team like Jake Paul and Akisa Badari, MVP, put me on in the spotlight, put me on this platform. Now I'm capable of doing that to the people in my island. Yeah. We have amazing talent in here. Now that we have this platform, now that I have a little bit of money that I can invest in my island, I am just super honored that we can bring MVP here, showcase great fights, just give everybody a little piece of the island. And to me, pushing women boxing it's really my heart. I want to be able to grow this sport bigger and better. You know, I've been in it for almost 16 years, and I've worked really, really hard, and I don't want it just to end when I retire. I want to showcase great women talent, men as well, but I want to be able to like pass this torch to like girls like Krystal or girls like Elise that I'm working with. So that's just the main part of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is my heart and soul, and I'm super happy that Jake is now a Puerto Rican native and that he knows how much this island means to me and to him. He's grown really attached to this island. He's helping out so many gyms here, and it's just truly amazing.
Jake has donated his purse to Boxing Bullies. Boxing Bullies is amazing.
Yep.
Boxing Bullies is taking kids out of the streets, giving them a place to go. I mean, the gym that we go to, they remodeled the gym. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
10, we're working on number 10.
Yeah, Jake.
On the island.
And one of my
10
my
gyms on the
gyms,
island.
Yeah, I was honored. Jake Paul honored me with Boxing Bullies, Jake Paul, but it was my gym in Carolina, my gym where, well, not I don't think my gym, but the gym where I train at now, but it was a gym where Krystal trains out of, and her team. So for me, that was like, we didn't even know, they didn't even know. It was just like, no, that's where we're going. In Carolina, where I was born, where I live.
That's what it's all about, you know, giving back.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know where, you know, Jake comes up with these things, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, he's got the mastermind of, you know, Nikisa there to complement what he does, but, you know, he's so receptive to everything and anything that has to do with giving. You know, what he's done for Puerto Rico, man, you know, if you didn't like this guy, you need to start loving this kid because this kid has really done, and there's a lot more that people don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's because not everything that Amanda Serrano and Jake Paul and Nikisa does, you know, we don't go out with bullhorn, you know what I'm saying? A lot of it is internal. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing so much, you know, signing fighters, giving fighters an opportunity, throwing shows in the island, bringing up the economy, you know what I'm saying? Giving to the non-fighters, you know what I'm saying? So
listen,
all in all,
yeah,
it's
it was
amazing.
all a dream of mine to one day either be an advisor or manager for young women in this sport. But now having Jake Paul on my side, I'm taking a page out of his book, and now the way he made me feel and made my team feel, my family feel when he signed me, just, I want to be able to give that to someone too, because like he's changed my life, honestly, the team's life, and I'm just like, I get emotional because it's been a journey for us. Like, people don't understand that. 16 years as a professional, the last 3 years have had to be the best years in our lives, in our career. So for him to give me that, I want to give that to somebody and make them feel the way I feel. I won.
Mike, you want to, absolutely, yeah. You want to put a button on this, Mike? Any?
Just want to say big shout out to the WBO for partnering with Boxing Bullies, opening gyms on the island, opening the 13th gym. We have 4 that we've renovated mainland United States, with more coming. And look, the professional events, prospects coming here is great, but even more important from that aspect is giving kids an outlet and an opportunity to train and do something more constructive with their time, learn discipline, learn accountability. You know, 99% of the kids that come into a Boxing Bullies gym are going to be pro fighters, but that's not what it's about.
And I have to say, Jake Paul, Boxing Bully, WBO outdid my gym in Carolina with that big mural. But to me, I don't see myself. I see a woman where young girls can come into the gym and look and be like, I want to be that. I want to do that, or just be an inspiration. So to me, I look at the mural every time I train, and I don't even see myself. I just see inspiration. If Nikisa, if you're watching, I know you promised me something when I beat Katie Taylor. So I hope you remember what it is. I forgot the brand of the car.
Wasn't it? Was it what was it? Do you remember?
It was the Corvette from the other prospect show that you pulled up.
Well,
in.
that car.
So Nikisa, you promised me that. So get your money ready. So I'm going to have a nice new car for Christmas.
There it is. And you know, there's really no better present than tuning in November 15th to watch the champ take on Katie Taylor, to watch Jake Paul take on Mike Tyson, and of course, because we are here in Puerto Rico, you want to tune in this Friday, October 11th, live on DAZN for MVP Prospects number 9. My name's Wade Plemons for the champ Amanda Serrano, Jordan Maldonado, and Mike Leanardi. This is the Boxing Lab. We'll see you next time.